Hundreds of men's college ultimate teams try to make it to the national tournament. Only one of them can lay claim to the top seed. This year, that team is Cal Berkeley. Brown University is the last team standing in Cal's way to the championship match. Can the Brownian motion run circles around the UGMO, or will Cal make the Brown guys blue? Next, at the 2004 UPA College Ultimate Championships. Seattle's skyline provides the perfect backdrop for the 2004 UPA College Ultimate Championships. We get set for the second of the men's semifinal actions here just north of Seattle. That is the #1 seeded University of California, Berkeley UGMO team against the #4 seeded Brown University squad. Hi everybody, I'm Craig Hummer along with legendary collegiate ultimate player Ben Wiggins. And Ben, these are two teams that really want to continue on in this tournament.
Yeah, Cal comes into this tournament seeded #1, having not been to nationals for a long, long time. They got to prove they earned that seed and show that they can take this tournament.
As we look to the format, the field's 70 yards long, each squad made up of 7 players, but there's a little bit more to it than that, right?
The rules aren't incredibly complicated. Throw it to a teammate in the end zone for a point, don't run with the disc, and games are to 15, win by 2.
Let's hear from the coaches.
I'm John Shelton. I'm one of 2 coaches for California UGMO men's ultimate team. 2 players you should watch out for today are number 19, Yo Kuwoka. He's fast, he's squirrely, he never gives up. And our defensive captain, Nat Kaczynski, he is all-around great player and a stud.
My name is Nathan Wicks. I'm the head coach for Brown University Brownian Motion. A couple players to watch today are number 2, Josh Zipperstein. He's a great cutter. You'll see him score a bunch of goals. And number 20, Will Arnold. He's a great man-to-man defender. On the turn, you'll see him touch the disc a lot, break the mark, throw a bunch of goals.
The #1 seeded team, University of California at Berkeley, looking to back that up. You heard the coach mention Nat Kinsky, but Bart Watson is in there as well, Ben.
Yeah, Bart Watson's a former college champion with Stanford, won it 2 years ago.
When you look to the Brown lineup, you have the brothers Colin and Neil Mahoney in their defensive specialists.
Yeah, they're both tall, lanky guys that get up in the air very well.
Add Will Arnold to that mix, a potent lineup for Brown and the UC Berkeley team. Taking a look at the weather, the winds have picked up 10 to 15 miles an hour. The temperature a comfortable low 60s. Cloudy, but that shouldn't matter at all to these guys. And it looks as though the gray shirts of Berkeley will start on offense.
They're seeing a zone defense straight to start from Brown. They're just going to move it around, see if they can find a weakness to start with right here in the opening bit.
You'll see the handlers act much like point guards in basketball. There is Nat Kinsky right there, dishing it off. A nice little forehand flick back to Kinsky in the middle of the field.
Just feeling each other out now until that shot. Bart puts it all the way down the line. He must like something he sees there.
A quick score, and look at that, right in the end zone. Berkeley draws first blood.
Or do they? Looks like something's called. It's a foul called by the defense on the offensive receiver.
That was George Mittendorf who pulled it down. It looks as though it'll count.
It went to the observer, and the observer ruled that there was no foul on the offensive player. We can see the disc floating in here. Both players are fighting for position, and that's a legal equal battle.
And Ben, ultimate is unique, isn't it, in the sense that either offense or defense can call a foul?
Yeah, the players regulate what happens on the field and decide the level of contact. If they can't make a quick, fair decision, though, they have an observer there ready to step in and help make a ruling.
And that leads me into yet another unique thing about ultimate is what they call the spirit of the game and the self-officiating.
Sure, every player has to be their own referee at the same time as they're playing. It's incredibly hard to do, but these players have learned how to develop that.
You see it right there. Dan MacArthur is knocked down on the ground. The Cal player, however, says, you know, my bad, basically, and then gives them the disc.
Yeah, it looks like just a simple foul. He stepped in when the offensive player was also making a pivot, so he's just going to give him the disc back as if the foul never happened.
Arlo Faria there on the mark, meaning he is the defender right on the disc itself.
His job is to try to shut down one half of the field and contain the disc to the other half so that downfield defenders can try to stop that side of the play.
Brown doing a pretty good job at this point, it looks like, of sort of establishing some confusion for Berkeley. I mean, Berkeley really seems to be running around at this point.
The defense is definitely tiring on this particular point. Brown's using good resets through the dump or safety pass to be able to move the disc side to side of the field and change the point of attack.
A huck downfield, a quick score perhaps for Brown, and they have done it indeed. A great pull down by Josh Zipperstein, also known as Zip. And Ben, he is one of the all-arounders that Cal is definitely going to have to defend against.
Yeah, Bart Watson is a fast player, but even he couldn't catch Zip. Zip can move, and they do a nice job of throwing out in front of him. He's a shorter receiver, but once he gets up to top speed, which doesn't take him long, he's tough to catch.
Early on in our men's semifinal action, it's 1-1. We'll be back. Welcome back to the 2004 UPA College Ultimate Championships. That is the Whidbey Island Ferry, and they're bringing them over by the boatload. This crowd on hand, large and in charge. Excited about this semifinal matchup between the University of California, Berkeley, who has been on fire of late, Ben.
Yeah, their athleticism has really taken them to the top of this tournament. They pulled out some close games by being bigger and faster at almost every position than their opponents.
They go up against the Brownian Motion, and these guys are no slouch either.
Yeah, particle physics aside, they really managed to take it to a very tough Iowa team in the quarterfinal.
And speaking of the quarterfinals, there is the bracket and how they got there. Brown, that close win, 15-13. Berkeley a little bit easier, but right now it is all about this semifinal matchup, and we are tied at 1-1 with a chance for Berkeley to go on offense.
Berkeley saw a zone last time from Brown. Brown's probably going to mix up their first 3 or 4 defensive possessions. Many teams script their defenses so they can give different looks and try out a couple of things, see what's going to work against this Berkeley offense.
With those scripted type defenses, does the offense then have a pattern response to what they think they're going to see?
Offenses have to react to the defense. They have to see what's coming at them and change their formation. If a zone comes, they need to go into more of a spread positional look. If a person defense comes, they can choose their play, but they can't choose when or where they have to run it.
And Ben, we saw that pull go out of bounds, and as we know, you bring it out to the 20-yard line after that happens.
Yeah, right in the center of the field. It's a nice attacking point. It's a good advantage for the offense. The defense wants to keep those pulls in bounds whenever possible.
All right, well, Ben, they're self-policing yet again. What do you think's been called?
It looks like a fast count or a double fast count call. Players have 10 seconds, and that's counted by the defense, but sometimes you get a little excited. Come on, guys. We can all count here.
So in other words, they do teach him to count the 10 at Berkeley. Nice dish off right there to Jake Cooper. Cooper hucking it downfield. Oh, and what a grab right there by Matt Pazinski. 6'2", a definite height advantage against the defender, but he just went up and pulled that thing down.
Yeah, Jake must have seen a mismatch he liked there, because Goose, as he's known by his teammates, can really get up. And here he gets a good read. He gets away from the disc, so he gets an attack angle, comes back to it strong. The defender's going the wrong way.
So what happened right there was Cooper came up the line. I saw Cooper coming up the line, was on the far side, had a shorter guy on me. So I just come across. He put the inside out, or the outside in, and I just read it, and came back for a big jump. I'm bleeding like crazy.
So much for self-policing right there. You saw Goose say it was an advantage they had to take. Who says Ultimate's not a contact sport, but that's just a little blood. Ben, you've had worse, haven't you?
Blown out knees, broken legs, concussions. He'll be tough. He'll be able to take care of it. And oh, that looks so easy.
Bam! Zip does it for Brown and ties the score. Josh Zipperstein makes it look oh so easy.
Yeah, his second goal even better than the first one. He just lost the defender. As this huck goes up, he's in the back of the stack juking, and you can just see that he's got at least 7 yards of separation. That's a huge margin, and that's a gimme throw.
We mentioned the weather conditions earlier. It is cloudy. We have had rain on and off throughout the weekend. We talked to Gabe Sonka of the UGMO about how the elements can change your strategy.
I think rain's a lot of the time an equalizer. A lot of the things that you can usually go to in dry weather, such as long throws, maybe inside out, something sneaky, a lot of finesse at the part of the game. Gets lost when the disc is wet or there's wind or people are slipping. So even a team that's stacked with athletes that can run, and jump and everything, you still have to make the throws, which just becomes more difficult.
One thing Gabe failed to mention about playing in inclement weather is that many teams, like his team and like my team was in college, Craig, is that if you're big, it helps because more discs are going to be blown up in the air and there's going to be more 50-50 jump balls. If they can win a couple of those, they can steal some easy points.
All right, here's the $100,000 question. First, what is an UGMO? And if you have more than one, are they the UGMOs or are they the UGME?
Well, I guess they're the ugly monkey, but I guess it's just one, so it must be really ugly.
And really big. The huck downfield going up, a mistimed jump by the defender, and what a great job by Gabe Sonka right there to pull it down for the score and give Cal the lead.
Good timing on that run from Dan Hodges. You can see they've played together for years. One gets the disc, he's instantly looking for the other. Gabe hauls in a relatively easy goal. Even if he hadn't caught this, it looks like Bart would have been able to grab it too.
When we come back, can Cal increase their lead? And I tell you what, you want to know how to make your mark in this sport? Stay with us. Welcome back to the 2004 UPA College Ultimate Championships. Craig Hummer along with Ben Wiggins. And Ben, while we were away, a heck of a lot of scoring took place, but every time Brown tried to make a move, Berkeley answered.
A lot of scoring in one end zone right now. Neither team has been able to put in a defensive goal. Zipperstein's scoring a bunch for Brown, but the Berkeley guys are answering right back every time. It hasn't been a defensive showcase yet.
See Hopkins with the score right there. There was another dish off to Hodges, a score by Berkeley, and the disc just kept getting launched, didn't it?
There's another Zipperstein goal. He's going crazy at this point. He's got 4 or 5.
Finally, we saw some defense, and that gave Berkeley a chance yet again. The dish off to Nat Kinski, and that leaves us at 6-5, advantage Cal at the moment. They will pull the length of the field, and it will be Brown's attempt to even it up at 6.
At some point in this game, one of these defensive teams is going to put a stop on and be able to convert, and then we're going to really see who answers and who answers back.
Ever so close right now. Hucks it up there. The outside in worked well. A dump off behind. Oh, it looked as though it was going to beat it off.
And it's straight to the offensive player. Bart Watson, what a gift.
Mistake from Bart Watson. Brown thanking their lucky stars at this point, being in the right place at the right time. Yet again, it's the zip.
Great hustle by Bart, but oh, that hurts to have it go straight to the offensive receiver.
Being lucky's better than being good.
Zip feeling lucky, and luck wins sometimes, but good defense wins games consistently. You want to know how to do it? Let the sideshow from the University of Delaware tell you how.
Hi, I'm Joel Scheingold. This is my teammate Tom Serio. We're from the University of Delaware, and we're here to show you the secrets of the Delaware Sideshow Mark. The first and most important thing you want to do is remember to always stay on the balls of your feet. That means is you don't want to get back on your heels and get flat-footed. Stay active, stay on your toes, and that way be ready to react quickly. Now, next thing you want to do is make sure you start your stall count. You have 10 seconds to stop him from throwing the disc. If he throws it to the open side, which is not the side that you're covering, that's fine. You're letting him throw that, and that's where your defense is, and hopefully they'll make a play on it. Now, when you get up on the mark, you want to get your hands in the right position. You keep your break side hand up high, and that'll stop the high releases. Then you want to keep your open side hand low. That'll stop the inside out breaks. But the most important thing you want to do, keep your center of gravity the entire time. You don't want to bend over. Now my center of gravity is way over here. He can swing around and break me again right over there. That's bad. But if I keep right here balanced and just pop over like that, I can swing back over quickly if he tries to come and break me. No break. It's like that. And that right there is the secret of the sideshow mark.
Defensive fundamentals, especially footwork, coming into play here. Both teams are going to need to find something, though. Maybe change up the defense a little bit and get a defensive point.
All right, now that I've seen the sideshow partner, I just really want to know, can you play defense?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just ask me.
Sounds good. Right now, it's all about the defensive strategy of Brown trying to contain Berkeley.
Berkeley's moving the stack around downfield, trying to open up spaces away from it where they can isolate players. But right now, they're getting backed on every throw, and they're having to come in and get short played.
Another foul. What was called here?
Just a body foul early in the count. It's just a little detail, and we'll keep playing.
So once again, the stall count starts. They have 10 seconds to get rid of it, and a missed throw right there by Garcia.
Miscommunication with the dump. That's a small detail of offense, but man, is it going to play out big.
And right there, Ben, it looked like Brown missed the opportunity almost to press the pace. They're allowing this whole setup to take part on the defense.
Yeah, they allow the defensive setup, but they also are allowing themselves to get set, to call a play, and to work through something.
And that's a huge call right there by the observer. They give the disc back to Berkeley.
Yeah, on a hand block. You can see right here, he goes out for the kick. Oh, gets his foot in the way of the disc, and that's a big turnover.
So by the block, now often if it's stripped, they'll get the disc back, but because it was actually blocked, the disc had left Brown's hand, they get the turnover, correct?
Not only that, he did it cleanly, so they get the disc. Unfortunate for Brown, you thought they would have made better of it with that kind of possession deep into Berkeley territory, but now Berkeley's challenging to score once again. Gonna hold serve here.
Sonka right there in the center, handling the disc at the moment. Lets it fly.
Lofts it up. That's high and well out of bounds. Gabe's a better thrower than that. He should make something, especially with a speed mismatch in the back.
Hey, they just threw the disc back out. Don't you get to keep that in the crowd?
Yeah, no free souvenirs here. Still an emerging sport.
Nathan Wicks right there shouting instructions, and John Shelton for Cal right there. On the turnover, it's off of the sidelines. A chance now for Brown to advance it up. Berkeley back on defense.
This is Brown's best defensive possession. They've got a couple of touches of the ball, and they're going to be able to move it down the field. Right now, the Berkeley defense is kind of shredded open. This is a great chance for Brown to get on the scoreboard on D and change the face of this game.
And Ben, explain that a little bit more, why you mean a defensive possession, even though technically they're on offense.
Well, they started this point on defense, so they've got their best defensive team out there right now, but these defenders need to be able to turn around and make it count. If they can't, then all their defensive work goes for nothing, and it's just another offensive point by Berkeley.
And the reason they can't get their offensive players in is because you can only substitute off of a point or an injury, correct?
Exactly. You have to be able to play both ways in this game, no matter what your position is. There's a swing into space. They've got a shot at the end zone. And a nice diving break. He can't leave his pivot foot, but he can leave the support of his legs. And as he's falling down, he's able to hit Mahoney in the side of the end zone.
They were able to capitalize, just like you talked about, an important point for Brown indeed.
Yeah, they may have figured out something about this Berkeley offense now. They're backing receivers, and they're forcing everybody in and short.
We got it. Quick throw to break mark side. Sprung his heads up, saw me come to the cone, quickly pass it off before they could set their mark.
Psychologically, a big point. That is the first lead for Brown in this game. Now it's a question of whether they can capitalize and build on that lead and keep the Cal Berkeley squad out of this game.
And neither team has been this tested this early in a game this tournament. This would be huge for Brown if they could impinge on that confidence of Berkeley and get another D point.
Berkeley going right after him though again, and they score huge by Mittendorf, going up big and pulling down that long huck.
Athlete on athlete. You can tell that Berkeley was setting that play up because they brought more of their receivers closer to the disc, opened up the back of the field for a deep shot.
Mittendorf closing out the point with the great extension.
Play on their hip a little bit before you commit to that, okay? Let's not let them have 10-yard cushions for hucks.
John Shelton's into it. Are you ready to get into the action? The Ultimate Players Association is the largest ultimate frisbee organization in the world. By joining the UPA, you're automatically subscribed to the sport's official magazine, packed with tons of incredible photos and ways to get the most out of your game. Visit www.upa.org to learn more and find out how to start playing in your community. Fans of all ages loving this semifinal action. We'll be back. Welcome back to Skagit River Park in Burlington, Washington. There are the beach chairs. but where is the beach? It's all about ultimate at this moment. The Brown team getting set for more action. In the middle of that huddle is Josh Zipperstein, one of the best in the country. We talked to him about how he would build the perfect ultimate player.
Probably about 6'2", long arms, real sinewy, strong calves, good jumper, probably long hair, and really smart guy, smart player. I think that's what makes great ultimate players. Athletes are good, but...
Well, one thing Josh probably forgot to mention is that you'd like to have a variety of throws and the ability to break the mark. But by my count, I have, well, 0 of those characteristics. I guess I'm not making Josh's team anytime soon.
Come on, partner. Don't sell yourself short. You were the best player in the country last year, the Callahan Award winner, so you've got to have at least, what, 2 or 3 of those traits most?
Well, I could cut my hair and I'd lose another one.
We've got a tie game on our hands. 7s all around, 7 members on each squad, 7s on the board. Who's going to break that deadlock?
You can see Vandenberg here with the disc, whipping it back and forth, but keeping it cocked back. He's ready to throw long. He's really trying to get to the end zone in a hurry. We're going to see if his long throws are successful or if he's just going to be throwing to Cal defenders.
Vandenberg trying to get it, finally able to connect. Hear a lot of talk out on the field. Hopple right there, advances it a bit.
The defense is holding well. They're pushing all the cutters in, and they're trying to make every throw difficult through defenders instead of trying to get one particular throw. Now the offense is starting to move.
Right there, very close to the goal line. Zipperstein off to Hopple again.
Now Will's right on the end zone line with no mark. He's got to get a cutter.
So close, trying to loop it around, and just a missed time throw.
Oh, that's poor. Now you're giving Berkeley a chance right away, but he definitely should have had somebody moving to try to help him out.
Mittendorf centers it, and then it's advanced out to Sonka.
Good calm flow. Bart's looking at the field. Bart's looking for everything.
He went for everything right there. He lays out and pulls it down. Sonka with a huge grab.
Evidently there's no other players on the field. Something must have happened. What's going on here? And the call from the field is a traveling call. One throw before, so that throw never would have counted.
That is not how you usually textbook want to dump it, is it?
No, a little bit higher difficulty than we might have imagined. But now they're reset. They need to calm down, put this one in the end zone.
There it is. It's got to be hard, and speak of your past experience, coming off an emotional and adrenaline-charged, what you think is a point, to then have to regroup and come back and try it again.
It's true. You get a little bit disappointed when you put so much effort into one layout like Gabe just did, but all these players have done that many times before.
They go for it again, and this time it will count.
You'll notice that Cal is much better when they move the disc quickly. When they stand there staring at the field, they can't get as much side-to-side motion, but when they can get the disc moving 1 or 2 passes in a row, they can get around the mark like Bart just did there. It's all from the setup throw that they're allowed to get yards.
Halftime is 8 points. That will take us to the half.
Monster-ass D the second half to break open this game. And I'm so ready to go home, fellas. All you need to do is calm down, play some good D, huh? Hey.
All of them telling each other, just calm down. They know they can play good D. Cal leads it at the break, 8-7.
It's heart and effort from here on out. Come on, Brown.
Welcome back to the 2004 UPA College Ultimate Championships, the men's second semifinal. At halftime, Cal leads 8-7, but coming back, you see the excitement in the Brown huddle as well as in the Berkeley mix. Brownie in motion would like nothing better than to stop UGMO's momentum that they had heading into halftime.
Coming in the second half, I just told them there's going to be, a couple plays that are going to make a difference in this game. They might be early, they might be late. There's just going to be a couple plays that'll be the difference in this game, and we need to be the ones to make those plays. They're going to keep putting up those hucks. We're going to have to get a couple blocks on those hucks if we want to win this game.
In addition to making those plays, they're going to have to stay consistent. Right now, their offense is resetting the disc after every stoppage of play very well, moving it back to the center of the field. If they can't do that, watch for Berkeley to capitalize.
Well, Berkeley took possession first in the first half. That means they will pull in the second half and give Brown the offensive possession first. Now, how does a team defend against the long ball, or more specifically the huck?
Well, one part of it is that you don't want to prevent the other team from throwing long. You want to prevent them from doing it easily and effectively. So both these teams could go to a straight-up mark to make the hucks curve more and give the downfield defenders more time. They're both going to look to back defenders a little bit, but they want to force bad long throws, make the other offense play difficult.
Brown still pinned back in their end zone. You know, if it's intercepted here, it is a point for Berkeley. They better stop fooling around, Ben.
That's true. They can only make so many of those long passes before a mistake happens. And Vandenberg's seen something he liked. He goes for the middle of the field and, just couldn't come up with it. A big hammer down the middle of the field trying to open up the defense. But this time it's going to give Cal a chance to score.
Nice little flick out. Benor has it. He sends it back to Hodges. Hodges now in a discussion.
CJ.
Hodges, a nice break throw, low backhand, Bart's chasing, and just keeps it in. That's a huge throw from Dan, not only breaking the mark, but breaking it for a goal in a spot where a defender could never get to.
Picture perfect job by Watson to toe in, but there's that throw again from Hodges.
Keeps it nice and low, good balance. He's into a pretty stiff wind here, which you can't even tell by the way the disc rotates so smoothly.
9-7 advantage, as you can see, for Cal. A big pull by Sonka.
They came down in a zone last time, and it worked out really nicely. They forced a tough hammer. Let's see if they're going to go back to, and they do. They go back to the zone. Vandenberg's still looking deep. Let's see if they can influence him to throw another one of those bad hammers.
And Ben, you want a perfect indication of how well that wind is affecting play. That throw from Sonka, much different than the other one that pinned Brown back in the end zone the last time.
Sure, you can also see it in the downfield defenders. They're all playing inside of their marks, and while they're playing positions, they're taking the most dangerous person and playing underneath them, knowing that Brown probably won't be able to throw all the way over the top.
Great catch by MacArthur right there. Dishes it back, a nice little dump. Vandenberg.
Basic zone offense strategy is move the disc quickly. Right now, Brown is spending too much time in the middle of the field staring at the field. They need to move it on stall 2 or 3 and get around this cup, or at least make the cup move more than they want to. Right here, they're standing with the disc.
And you mentioned the stall count again. They have only 10 seconds to get rid of the disc. Otherwise, it is a turnover.
Brown's downfield players look like they're waiting for the handlers to do something. They seem to be standing in spots and hoping that one of these Brown handlers can put it over the top. All the handlers are looking for it, but against the big defense of Cal, it seems to be a little bit too tall of a task.
Right there, Will Arnold, always a factor. They're really having some difficulty. They're so close, and it looked like he had it right there. Arnold seemed to be over the line, but
yeah, maybe lost eye communication for a second, but now they've got it.
And they finally get it. So there's your combo. Hopple to number 20, Will Arnold. Good for a point for Brown. Closing the gap. Now down by only 1. The score, Cal 9 and Brown 8. We'll be back. Welcome back to CSTV's semifinal action of the 2004 UPA College Ultimate Championships. Craig Hummer along with Ben Wiggins. And while we were away, points were scored, Ben, in a seesaw manner, back and forth between Brown and Berkeley.
Both teams are scoring, but right now Berkeley's having the better run of play. Their zone defense is forcing Brown to make more difficult throws, and they're finding holes in the back of the defense. Big throws by Bart and Gabe especially, cutting into Brown's advantage.
11-9 the advantage for Berkeley. Brown with the disc. They are on offense.
Again, the zone. Little throws in front of the cup. The first 3 players on defense trying to contain the disc seem to be getting yards slowly but steadily.
Number 25, you see Vandenberg. An overhead. Finds him in the corner.
An off-tilt hammer. That's a very difficult throw going the wrong way. He had to be pretty much perfect, but you can tell he's looking to go over the top on every possession.
Nathan Wicks extolling his team's virtues. You know, hundreds of colleges try to get here. We took a poll and we asked, where's the ultimate place to go to school?
Brown is awesome because every fall we have 100 guys come out to play Ultimate.
Wisconsin's the best place to go to school because Memorial Day and Labor Day, Brockfest.
No matter what your passion is, there is a way for you to find out how to pursue that at Stanford.
So much hiking and camping, and then our Ultimate program is one of the top in the nation. So it's just a good place to come play Ultimate and go to school.
Ultimate team has been to the national championship every year since 1990 and 9 of the last 11 semifinals, so you can't find a better education or Ultimate program in the nation.
We have more fun out there than anybody else as a team. We have 25 people out there, and we're just having more fun than everybody else.
Wisconsin is the coolest place to go to school because our girls are the cutest in the country.
Okay, so Ben, you're an Oregon alum. How does your school match up with the others?
Well, those guys were biased, but I think it's pretty widely held assumption that Eugene, Oregon is the best place to play Ultimate. So kids, if you're looking to go to school, hands down, Oregon.
Part of the Pac-10, of course. We're watching a Pac-10 school here in Cal. You've played against this squad a number of times, not, of course, in this actual team setup, but how do you give them props at this point? How are they doing?
Cal's a great team. The thing they've added this year, as you see they go deep there on Mahoney. Oh, Mahoney able to just get it at the last minute. Cal this year has added a lot more depth at handling and at deep positions. They allow now their best players to be in the middle of the field and more versatile. It's why they've gone from a team that didn't make nationals to one of the best in the country and the #1 seed.
Well, Mahoney's huge layout D has got to give some momentum to Brown. A chance now for them to capitalize.
Yep, Mahoney with the disc here, looking upfield, and they've got a chance to get this D point in. They're going to swing it around, and there's the jack. Oh, that's sadly disappointing. He would have liked to have that one back, but now we've got Cal stuck on the sideline again.
Cal will switch over to offense. And they're debating where it will come in right now.
Bart would love to get a break off here, or Nat from his position. Anything they can do to get it off the line makes it easier to attack the end zone.
A missed throw right there by Kinski.
Giving it right back. This is still Brown's possession to go up on defense.
There you see Mahoney once again in the force in right along the sideline right there. Great defense.
He's able to get it off the line with a nice dump into space. Instead of throwing directly to the dump player, he's throwing out into a useful space where the offensive player can just run onto the disc.
Zip trying to make something happen.
Here they've got it right in the end zone. There's a dump to John Jay. He's going to swing around, and Will's got an open end zone for a second, and another cutter they miss. They're being a little too patient.
They do it, though. Will Arnold to Ben Sprung. Sprung, the junior.
Able to catch it even with all that defense draped all over him. Watch here. He's going to get a good amount of contact while still trying to toe the line. Nice catch.
Brown doing it the hard way. The result, though, is beneficial. We're all tied up. Welcome back to the 2004 UPA College Ultimate Championship semifinal match between Brown and Cal Berkeley. A seesaw ding-dong battle throughout this game, Ben. 11-all at this point, neither team giving anything away to the other.
Yeah, after a couple of good Cal points right out of the half, Brown has started to march back. They've tied it up, and they're on a defensive run right now.
Almost an interception. Berkeley almost overplayed that throw.
Staying very calm with the disc. They're just going to move it around side to side until they get something upfield that they like.
And you can bet John Shelton, the coach of Berkeley, is telling his team, if you see something, go for it, which they do.
Adam Scow is usually a handler, almost always behind the disc, and they sent him deep on that one. I'm not sure if that was a drawn-up play. It's probably near the back of the playbook, but they'll take it right now. That's a good look from Cooper deep.
Cooper to Scow, and I tell you what, that flick of Jake Cooper's looked absolutely effortless, Ben.
Yeah, it sure did. he does a nice job of using his body torque to propel the disc instead of arm. When you use your arm, it's like batting. If you try to bat only with your hands, you don't have enough power. Use your body, get the whip around, and you could really send the disc.
You know, that's exactly the same throw I use at the beach all the time, buddy, so I know exactly what you're saying. Just kidding. Well, Cal showing why they are the #1 seeded team in this tournament, really putting the pressure on right now to the Brownie in motion.
They're back to that zone. They're forcing little throws in front of the cup, and they're daring Brown to beat them for big yards over the top.
They dodged a bullet right there, the deflection, but still able to keep possession.
Yeah, who wouldn't have thunk it? Came straight to Zipperstein off the deflection.
Calling out a lot of direction right now. It's coming from the sidelines and on the field. The hammer throw over top, and again they dodge a bullet.
Very close. Every time they look over top, it's dangerous. They need to stay calm and just work the disc around. There, nice side movement, but going straight up the field is going to be tough. This Cal defense is very well attuned to each other.
Nice job working it up the middle. Brown doing a great job of really spreading it out, aren't they?
Their spacing is good, but they're not moving it to those players.
Well, good enough, though. It looks like Zip with another score.
Johnny on the spot. It seems like every time the count gets above 4, he finds a way to get open. If they can shut him down from one of those Cal defenders, maybe they can make the Brown offense stall.
Let's go get it.
Deceptive by nature. The Brown offense does a great job. They score the point.
Well, if you fake them out and you make them move, then there's going to be somebody open.
This is a race.
Paul Vandenberg makes it sound so simple, doesn't he, Ben?
Yeah, it's not that easy when you're staring the defenders in the face. It's easy to watch afterwards and say that you planned it the whole time, though.
A very good pull, pinning Berkeley back, but Berkeley just seems to really jump on the disc almost. They're able to advance a lot quicker, it seems.
Yeah, they're really nicely prepared out of the start. They don't wait around for a lot, and they have nice breakside lanes.
Handling at the moment, Brian Garcia. He's able to get it off.
Sanka's going deep right away.
Oh. Will they give him possession, though? That's the question.
A strip is called, meaning the defender took it out of the offensive player's hands after he caught it. We'll see what the observer thinks here in a second. You can see the disc coming in, definitely in his hand, and then ripped out, and the foot inbounds. I think this one's going to go Cal's way.
Wow, this far into the match, that is a big point. The observer awarding the point to Cal. They now are up 13-12, Ben.
Nice to be at this point in the tournament where you have the absolute best observing crews there. That observer actually wrote the observing system being used at this Nationals. He's the best person to make the call.
Well, if you're a Cal fan, you're certainly liking the call at this point, inching them closer to the spot in the final that they have coveted throughout this tournament. But Brown, they are definitely going to have something to say, starting with this chance on offense.
A little bit of cold sweat on the palms now. They must score any turnover here, and you've got your back against the wall looking at the loss.
Speaking of backs against the wall, way deep in the end zone right now. A chance for Cal to perhaps steal one here, literally.
Blade over the top will get him out of some of the pressure. But it looks like they can't break it much past that. They're going to have to go back through this zone defense again.
Trying to set up. Oh, huge hammer by Vandenberg. Hopkins pulls it down, and then he dishes the backhand to Bowman for the score.
A strange double helixing throw that allowed the offensive player to see it, but neither defender could get a good read. Cal's got to be happy with that possession. They forced the most difficult throw possible right there. Should have had the D, though.
Two defenders go up. The offensive player, Hopkins, comes down with it, and then it's just an easy backhand to Bowman. We're tied.
Let's take this game. Let's take control right now. We have timeouts if you need it.
Welcome back to the 2004 UPA College Ultimate Championships semifinal action between Brown and Berkeley, and what a semifinal it has been. Craig Hummer along with Ben Wiggins. At this point, Ben, it is anybody's game. They each stand on 13 points. The game is to 15, and you must win by 2.
While Cal has the advantage of having the disc right now, you'd almost rather be on defense here and in Brown's shoes, so then all the pressure is on the other team. Right now, Cal's got to be a little bit worried, especially going backwards to start.
Sonka able to really almost lay out for that dump. Not probably what he wanted to do, but it keeps it alive for Berkeley.
Bart, wait on the Dan Hodges gets way up on Will Arnold. Pulls that thing down. He's going across the field, and he's found his man. That's 14 points, George Mittendorf.
Berkeley answers. They stand up to the pressure. 1 point away from advancing to the championship game.
You see the throw here, confident, taking it to the other side of the field. Doesn't look like it's any different than a day out in the park throwing. Dan Hodges is a cool customer at this point in the game.
Sonka getting set for the pull. Really needs to pin Brown back deep. Strategy right now, you've been in this situation, what do you do?
On offense, you want to look to stay aggressive and stay with exactly the same thing that's got you here. Try to make little changes, and you're just feeding into what the defense wants.
Now the pressure is on Brown. They must answer.
Hodges is going with a different mark on Vandenberg. He knows Vandenberg wants hammers. He's marking him straight up with his hands high, allowing backhands and trying to make Vandenberg put that hammer just a little bit higher, give the defense a chance downfield.
Puts it into the center of the field, opening up a few options. MacArthur back to Vandenberg.
He's got that hammer cocked again.
He's just got to dump it off.
They get yards every time they take one of those little dumps. If they can move it around the field, they can methodically work it into the end zone.
You really can see that hand position on the disc of Vandenberg. He does want that hammer throw, doesn't he?
He sure does. He's not even looking at his swing at this point. He's even pointing out his hammer. He has got to hold that disc and just keep possession.
The intensity level has increased just a little bit right now. Oh, does he get it? Are they going to give it to him? What a catch.
Absolutely saved. Wrong-footed defender. Maybe should have been blocked, but saved downfield. That's a lucky one for Brown.
Bowman keeps the dream alive.
Vandenberg's going hammer again.
There's the hammer right there. Does he find somebody?
Oh, Zip goes way up. The 5'9" Zip. Skies 3 people for that disc. He is single-handedly keeping him in this game.
Huge play.
And now we're back to square one. Vandenberg has it. Can he be patient?
Another hammer, going for it again, but it looks as though their luck finally ran out. It'll go out of bounds, and that should be a turnover to Berkeley.
It's just like what we've been talking about, Craig. You can only throw those difficult throws so often and not make the defense adjust.
He went to the well one too many times. Now a chance for Berkeley to close out this game and book themselves a date in the final.
This thing is over with one throw if they can do it.
Sonka, great job to come back for the disc. Let's talk about one throw. Does he lay out? No.
George Mittendorf, one of their best athletes, sent him deep. Just missed.
That was a heck of a huck, and that's an understatement. Mittendorf laying out, and just off of his fingertips, that's going to leave a mark.
I hope they're not too disappointed, though. They've got Brown backed up against a zone that Brown hasn't been able to beat. The only way they've gotten through it is by hucking it up and hoping Zip saves them. If Cal can keep them stuck in their own end zone, they can make short work of this zone point.
Off of the incompletion, Brown has the option to bring it out to the goal line, and that is what they do.
Sometimes you could see them playing it from the back of the end zone just because they have a fast break, but right now they need to take their time and regain their composure. Throw some easy throws. Make it simple. So close on the defensive bid.
MacArthur handling at the moment.
Brown has got to be freaked right now. None of the easy stuff is working.
Hopple trying to get rid of it. Finally has to use just a little backhand dish.
There we go, starting to move the disc side to side. Realize that the other team is just as tired as you are.
Vandenberg has been literally the center of this team, controlling the action throughout the game. Hoppel has it once again. At this point, you got to be looking for your superstar Zip, correct? I mean, there he is right now.
Absolutely, but to set him up, more people on Brown's team could be moving. When you see from behind the handlers, you can tell that downfield they're waiting for a throw. They're not moving to open places or actively trying to get the disc.
Vandenberg goes for a hammer again, finds Zip right there.
Pretty good bet at this point in the game. He's been perfect so far.
Hoppel, Zip on the cut, couldn't get open. Vandenberg with the cut. He goes across all the way to Arnold.
You can see Vandenberg's little motion opens up a swing through the middle. If they can do that a couple times and get some motion downfield, they could break the zone open. They're only 10 yards away.
They go back to Vandenberg on the dump.
He's looking around for options. He doesn't see what he wants. He throws it up in the end zone. There's only 3 Cal players there.
That had to be a miscommunication. Get it back! Without a doubt, Vandenberg has been so steady all day. Garcia hucks it downfield. Mittendorf pulls it down. He's got somebody open. Look at that, the feed to Sonka. It is over. Berkeley will go to the final. They advanced by the score of 15-13 over a tenacious Brown team. Just not enough, Ben.
Craig, we saw a first half that was very clean, a lot of offensive points, but in the second half, defense ruled, and a high turnover count game, anybody could have won.
Brown had a lot of weapons, and it's disappointing that one team can only advance, but great play by Berkeley throughout the match.
Well, I mean, we knew what type of team they'd be coming in. They were smart, they were patient, and didn't turn it over much, and they played hard. We knew all those things, and it was just what we expected.
Pat Korn giving props to the Brown team, but to come so close, one step away from the championship, you never feel great.
It was a great game. We had the disc a couple times to get that break, and we just couldn't put it over. They're a great team. They made some incredible catches down there at the end, and we couldn't come up with them. So.
Superlative effort by the Brown seniors. That class has won a lot of games, and they'll be proud looking back on this one.
Cal, the #1 seed, holds serve, so to speak, and moves on to meet Colorado. For more information on the Ultimate Players Association, go to www.upa.org and log on to collegesports.com, the ultimate destination for scores, news, highlights, and analysis. This has been a presentation of CSTV, College Sports Television, #1 in college sports. For Ben Wiggins, I'm Craig Hummer. See you next time.